Hey buddy, welcome back to this EWR series. My name is Andy, your commentator for episode number 23, where I'm partway through booking a year's worth of shows for PWG. Now, as you can see there at the top of the screen, we're at the end of August, or one day before the end of August. So in this video, we're going to be finishing off August by doing our big monthly event, which is going to be taking place tomorrow on the 31st, at the same time as In Real Life Bash in Berlin will take place, along with a few other things, such as the end of the 5-star Grand Prix in Stardom. But we don't need to worry about real life, because what we need to focus on is this fictional world, where we're going to be doing our August event called City of Devils. Now, if I do say so myself, I think the build for this event has been quite good. So let's just have a quick recap of the card that we've been building towards for the last month. So there'll be no Book the Women Better signs on this show, because we've got three women's matches. We've got Deonna Purrazzo taking on Kairi Sane. We've got Paige taking on Asuka. We've got the women's title, Mickie James defending against Tennille Dashwood. And then away from the ladies, we've got tag team title match, Go Time challenging the Mighty. We've got Josh Barnett taking on Orange Cassidy. The world title on the line, Kongo Kong defending against Eli Drake. And then last but not least, the winner-take-all, so to speak, match between the Glory Days and the Troop. If the Glory Days win, then Bob Backlund will take over as PWG Booker, owner, whatever you want to call it. If the Troop win, then the Glory Days must disband and presumably disappear forever. So that's the card we've built up. So let's get on with it. Let's do some booking. Any more emails? Yeah, just TV stuff I don't care about. You can actually turn those emails off. Maybe I ought to do that. TV shows hell, like, why would I not turn that off? Anyway, let's not worry about that. Let's instead focus on, as I said, City of Devils, our big August event. Now, I'm going to try to do 2 shows in this video, but depending on how long it takes, because when we skip over to the 1st September, I will get a lot of emails that I'll have to deal with. So depending on how long that takes, this may be another one-show video. But I do want to try and book the next episode of Warfare as well. However, I suppose if I didn't talk as much and got on with it, then that'd be more likely to happen. So we'll kick this out. I'm not going to book in order, but I'm not going to do the pre-show. I'm going to do the pre-show at the end, so I'm not 100% sure I'm going to have on that yet. So we're going to kick these off with one of our 3 women's matches. So it's going to be Deonna Purrazzo taking on Kairi Sane. Of course, the build to this match was Deonna Purrazzo kind of blaming the Stunning Sucker ban for losing her title. It was their interference that made it a triple threat match, so that's how Mickie James ended up in the match, so she's declared war against them now. However, she's going to come up short in this match because Kairi is going to win because Katrina interferes, who of course is the manager of all the Japanese ladies. No aftermath and no real purpose for that one. We move on to our first title match. No real story for this one. Go Time challenging the Mighty. So, really what's happening here is Go Time, a newly formed team. They've won a few matches. And now they get the title shot. That's essentially what's going on here. So, Go Shizaki and Kushida, Go Time, taking on Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste/Thorne. Titles on the line. Just for full disclosure as well, I'm recording this on the 23rd of August in real life, so very similar time. Trying to keep up with real time, but I am failing a little bit. Right, who's going to win? The Mighty. So they'll pin Kushida, and we'll have a clean win, even though they're heels. And just to put in a good match, basically. But we'll not bother putting that one in. But the next match, so we're going to have kicking off with 3 matches. We've got 7 matches out of 8 segments here on the main card. So match with no real build. I'm not really sure why this match is happening, to be honest with you. But anyway, well, actually, I do know why. We're gonna say in a minute. But it's Orange Cassidy versus Josh Barnett. Now this match, as I said, hasn't had any real build, but it will serve a purpose, which we'll get to shortly. Okay, so Josh Barnett is going to win, so another heel victory. However, so because Excalibur is wrestling in the main event, I've actually hired a replacement commentator for this show, and it's Kevin Nash. Now, if you're a long-term viewer of the series, you'll remember Kevin Nash appearing. I think it was All-Star. I don't know if it was All-Star Weekend. But anyway, basically, Kevin Nash has already appeared, and he beat Orange Cassidy. If I did, yeah, it was after Cassidy. I can't remember what show it was now. I'm just quite embarrassed. Anyway, Cassidy beat Ric Flair, and Ric Flair's retirement, and Kevin Nash didn't take into account the fact that Orange Cassidy was Ric Flair's last opponent. So, yep, he attacked him, and he's come back to haunt him here. So Kevin Nash, not Keith Lee, Kevin Nash attacks Orange Cassidy, and then he carries on beating him up. And that's to build it to a future match. So Kevin Nash will get up off the commentator's desk, beat Orange Cassidy up, and then go and sit back down again. So that's what would happen there. Moving on now to another women's match, this time the title match. So Tennille Dashwood, who's been complaining that she's, rightly so as well, that she's not been screwed out of a one-on-one title shot. Mickie James' first defence. So Tennille Dashwood, in a previous one-on-one match, she the match was ruined by I think it was Asuka or Katrina. Somebody ran in, I can't remember who it was. One of the stunning Sukiban ran in, and then when she should have had a rematch, it got made into a triple threat match, which Mickie James won. So she's finally getting her one-on-one match here, and unfortunately she's going to come up short because I need Mickie to retain the title. So that's Tennille Dashwood. Hopes dashed sort of, yeah, anyway. Then we're going to have a hype package for the next match. So it's Asuka versus Paige. Now, of course, the build to this match has been centered around sort of playing off their history in WWE when Paige managed Asuka, or managed the Kabuki Warriors. So Katrina has been keeping Asuka off TV. So Katrina's basically been the sort of the proxy for Asuka, trying to keep Asuka away from Paige because she's worried that Paige might get into her head. That's kind of been the build here. So this is going to be Asuka. So when Asuka comes out for this match, this will be her first appearance all month. Because as I said, I've kept Asuka off TV since the last event, which took place in July, and the name eludes me at this point. Can't remember what it's called now. I want to say Mystery Vortex, but I feel like that was the event before. What was it called? Let me double check. It's bugging me. Three Mendes, that was it. So Asuka's not been on TV since Three Mendes. This is going to be her first appearance, and she is going to win, and she's going to win cleanly. But again, I mean, I suppose if this, if this were real, we'd have a bit of tension with Asuka and Katrina, then the old snap of the fingers, and Asuka would eventually fall in line, if you like, and beat Paige up. So we'll not do any aftermath, and we'll not put a purpose. I feel like I should be putting purpose in some of these matches. Anyway, 2 matches left to go. And the title match for the first time is not going to be the main event, because I think the winner-take-all match is more important. So Eli Drake taking on Congo Kong. So of course the story here is Eli Drake had a contract for a title shot at any point during August. And then Congo Kong broke his ankle, so broke Eli Drake's ankle, not his own ankle. Congo Kong broke his ankle in the hope that he wouldn't recover in time and his title shot would expire, and then in the last episode of Warfare, Eli Drake returned and showed that he was okay. So that's been the build here, and I feel like this is the time to change the title. I feel like we need a new champion. But I'm sorry, Eli, as much as it feels like a perfect time to switch the title, I have got a long-term plan and I'm going to stick to it. So Congo Kong is going to have to win. I'll make it clean. I'll just say he'll just go after the ankle or something. I don't know. So it'll be clean, but kind of not clean. It'll be clean because he won't like hit him with he won't like outright cheat, but he'll go after the ankle, and eventually Eli will have to sort of admit defeat, sort of thing. We'll say that's to put on a good match. Let's actually give some purpose to some matches. Okay, then just the main event. Now, this would have to be booked quite carefully, but obviously I can't do that. But this is what would happen. I'll explain what's going to happen in a second. So, Survivor, not War Games. Okay, so the Glory Days. So it's I can't remember who's in the team now. It is going to be Rick Steiner, the Warlord, the Barbarian, not in the order, Papa Shango, and Mick Foley, taking on the Troop, which is made up of Excalibur, who's come off the commentary desk to wrestle to defend his company. So Excalibur, Bandido, Drew Gulak, Dominik Dijakovic, and Keith Lee. Obviously no title. Right. So I have to. So rather than pick the winner, I have to pick the order of which they're eliminated in. So this would have to be booked quite carefully. So let's just put the order in, and then we'll go for. I'll explain what would happen. I'll explain how this match would unfold. Again, if this were real, which obviously it isn't. You can go next. So that's now 4 on 2. That's 4 on 3. Sorry. Then Bandido, Papa Shango, the Barbarian. Actually, we'll Drew Gulak. We'll give you Drew Gulak next. And then we want then we want Bandido. And then we want Rick Steiner. And last but not least, so if you're keeping score at this point, it's down to Keith Lee and Mick Foley. So let me just explain what would happen here. Like I said, if this were real, this is how this match would go. So the match would start, it'd be Keith Lee and whoever in the match. And then Dijakovic, who's only just joined the group after a couple of months of teasing and needed to be convinced. So he'd tag himself in. So he'd insist, he'd be doing putting his hand up saying, come on, tag me. He'd get tagged in, and then he'd immediately, as Keith Lee was leaving the ring, he'd knee Keith Lee off the apron. Keith Lee go flying into the barricade. And then Dijakovic would start attacking him with a chair or whatever. Then eventually the rest of his team the rest of the Glory Days, the troops would be like, what are you doing? They'd try and get him away from Keith Lee. He'd whack Gulak or somebody over the head with a chair. And then eventually he'd start backing away, and he'd walk, basically eliminate himself. So he'd walk up the ramp and he'd get counted out by the referee he needs to tag himself in so he can then get counted out. So that's what would happen there. Then Excalibur, who obviously hasn't wrestled for don't know how long, isn't really a wrestler. He'd then end up getting beaten. So basically it's 5 against 3. So I'm creating some jeopardy. Because I feel like the biggest problem with this storyline's been I need guys in their 50s and 60s to look threatening against guys in their 20s and 30s. Well, the only way you can do that realistically is by having them have a numbers advantage. So by having Dijakovic walk out and then Excalibur getting pinned immediately after because he's not really a wrestler anymore, you're then creating that jeopardy. So you're already down to 5 on 3. So Excalibur just get pinned. He'd try his best, but he'd get, double arm DDT and Foley would pin him or whatever. Then they'd manage to get rid of the Warlord. So, I don't know, Keith Lee would pin the Warlord. Or Drew Gulak had pinned the Warlord, but then as Gulak's celebrating, he'd get a quick roll up, they'd hold the tights, and then there'd be Gulak gone. So again, it's down to 4 against 2. So it's Bandido and Keith Lee against the Glory Days, apart from the Warlord. Keith Lee had pinned the Barbarian or something, I don't know. And then Bandido would get caught again. There'd be a bit of cheating or something. Backlund and interfere, but that's Bandido gone. So it's down to Steiner and Foley against Keith Lee. Keith Lee beats Rick Steiner, so it's down to Keith Lee and Foley. And ultimately, Keith Lee prevails, of course. We have to get rid of, the Glory. I think the storyline's... Well, this is the end of the storyline now. So Keith Lee beats Mick Foley. And the Troop are the ultimate winners, and they defend PWG. I just need to put the... I just need to do the pre-show, and it's going to be an angle. And what stable angles can you have? Let's have a look. So we'll have attack, singles, backstage. That's what we'll do. So we'll say the Glory Days will attack. Well, we'll go with Keith Lee. Why not? He's kind of yeah. We're making him overcome the odds essentially. So yeah, we'll go with Keith Lee. I feel like he's too much the focus, but you know, spoiler alert, we're trying to make him top baby. I feel it's a bit like Roman Reigns back in the day. We're trying to make him top babyface by just stacking the odds against him. Anyway, that's City of Devils. Like I said, I think it's been quite a good build. So hopefully the card is as good as the build. Let's go. Good. That's what we wanted. Good. Excellent match. Better than I thought it was going to be. Although they are both good workers, they've got good stats, so that's all good. Yep, another good match. I was expecting that to be good. Another good match, way better. That was way better than I was expecting. Although I was hoping Kevin Nash's interference might get the crowd reaction a bit higher, but hey ho, good match, very good match in fact. Yep, fair enough. Yep, good match. Thought it might be. Excellent match. Kongo Kong gets more overness. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And the main event was never going to be great given the stats of the Glory Days, but over 60%. You know what? I'd have taken that. I was hoping for a bigger crowd reaction given who's in it, i.e. Foley and one or two others that are quite over. I suppose when the Barbarian and the Warlord are in, you was going to put right. Can we get a 70% quality show? We can! Exactly 70%. So that's good. Best segment was a video package, which is a shame, but of course, well, that's what the main event is. The world title match, sorry, was good too. Perfect. Right, that was an excellent show. We finally cracked the 70%, so I think that will be the best show we've ever done, but I'll check. I'll check that when we get when this loading screen's gone. Okay, so as I said, there'll be a few bits to do here. So if you only watch these videos for the booking, then you might want to skip the next few minutes because I will have a lot of emails to check. Because that was a joint best show with that episode of Warfare. So that's good. Why was that so good? Actually, Neil Dashwood debuted. Maybe that's why it was so good. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. How many emails have we got? 45. Brimful of Asher and 45 emails. Okay. So let's go through 3,008. I think that's the first time I've had more than 3,000 people. That's encouraging. 89% public image, so we're nearly up to national, which is also good. 6 weeks, right, okay, so we can get another month out of that. Right, okay, let's check these emails then, like I said, so we don't really care about that one. Good, good. We need a new sponsor. So I'm assuming, yeah, we made money. $120,000 we made last month, so that's good. We're back in the... I go back to black, which is good. Right. Kevin Sullivan's 1 month after his contract. Well, that's fine because he's leaving anyway. Excalibur's been underpaid. Don't care about that. But let's go to the first email. Let's do it this way. Right. Don't need that. Don't need that. Mark Andrews versus Triton. It's not something I ever thought that I'd book, but we'll think about it. Right, Pride. So Pride didn't actually have any workers. So they can now actually run shows because they've hired people. Let's have a look who they hired. Akam and Rezar, Natalia, okay, Matt Riddle, Jeff Cobb, Jake Hager, Tom Long. I do like the fact, I mean, you can't do much with these Japanese. I don't think you can really edit them or anything like that, but there must be something in the code, I think, to tell you that these Japanese promotions will hire certain types of wrestler. So Pride being a shoot fight thing, essentially. I don't know if it was fake shoot fights or actual shoot fights, to be honest with you. I probably should know, but I feel like it was. I thought it was legit. I thought it was real. But anyway, they've hired people that, like, they've all got they've got a similar stats. High technical, high brawl. Hager, obviously. Riddle's fought in the UFC. Obviously, Hager's been in Bellator. Razor and Akam have got legit background. At least one of them. I know one of them has. They may both have, but I know one of them definitely has. I think it's Razar. Tom Lawler, again, legit background. Nagata's got high technical. So I do like that. I do like that about this game. So that's Pride. What else we got? So we don't need to worry about. Actually, we'll keep on that email just for now. Right. So we've got the IWC to worry about now. So Ty Conti getting better, MJF getting better, Odinson good. Apparently he isn't going to get much better. Okay, we'll worry about that later. Paro, Super Astro. These are all good. That could have been better. That's good. That Mark Davis is back from suspension. Right, so just the retirements now. So Tom Pritchard has retired. Tim Horner, don't know who that is. No, not Hogan. No. I'm not going to do it. We did it with Flair. I'm not going to do it with Hogan, I don't think. Well, I'll see. I'll have a think. I'll see. I did it with Flair, but yeah, this next month's going to be quite important. So I don't want to kind of steer away from what I've got planned. Okay. David Young, the master of the cab driver slam, if anyone knows what I'm talking about with that one. Hopefully they do. I can't claim credit. I can't claim credit for that one. Tam and Honda. Yeah, you. Yeah. Yeah, but I knew Bob Backlund would retire in September, so that's why I did this Glory Days storyline. That's why I wrapped it up. Or one of the reasons why I wrapped it up. In August, because I knew he was going in September. So if I wanted to use him, I had to wrap that up. So they always retire when they hit 70. So yeah, so he'll be gone at the end of the month. Right, what else we got? Anything else? No, Paul Ellering. Okay. Cool. Right, so that's it in terms of retirement. How old's Paul Ellering? I think he's late 60s, I think. Yeah, 66. So understandable. Same with Hogan. Yeah, they're both 66. Clickety click. Right. So we're 23 minutes in. I need to get on with it. So what else did I miss? So AAA Sunday's been promoted to late night. New Japan have got a new TV show. Papa Shango 3 months, doesn't matter because he's going. Rick Steiner 1 month, good because he's going. Warlord's got 3 months. Kevin Sullivan 1 month. Right, so let's just delete some emails, the ones I don't care about. Right, don't care about Tom Pritchard retiring. Hogan, I'll keep the Hogan one just for now. David Young. Well, we knew about that one, but he's done anyway. He's not going to be on TV anymore. Well, actually, that's not quite true. But that's a bit of a spoiler. Right, Paul Ellering. Papa Shango. I'll keep hold of that one for now. I mean, I will do. There is some stuff I need to do, but I'll do it when I'm not recording because this is not particularly interesting at the moment. I'm fully aware of that. There are some stuff that I have to do on the first of the month, so I'll try and do this as quickly as possible. I do want to get the next episode of Warfare booked in this video, but I don't want this video to go over 50 minutes. I'm conscious that we're already at the 25-minute mark. Right, so production, I think you can change that at any point. So I'll leave the advertisers as it is. I'll leave the merchandise as it is. We'll leave the risk as it is. Risk 69. I mean, that joke writes itself. Right, so let's have a look at sponsors because I need to get as much money into the company as possible. I've got a feeling that yeah, Jack Daniels is still the best sponsor I can get in terms of money, so I'll get them back for another 7 months. So that's fine. Right. No one's unhappy, which is good. Right, Odinson. I need to check Odinson and Paro if I'm going to promote them to the main roster or not. We shall see. Right, I think, because I'm not going to change any of this stuff, I think that's everything. The only thing I might need to sort out, I need to sort out the TV deal, but again, I'll do that. I'll do that when I'm not recording. Yeah, we can't hire any of these now on written contracts. What's the next promotion? I think it's quite a big one. I think it's Michinoku. No, it's not Michinoku Pro. Toriyomi or Dragon. I don't know if I said this earlier in the series when I said about missing Japanese promotions. I think I may have said Dragon Gate, but Dragon Gate is here because I didn't realize Toriyomi was Dragon Gate until actually if you look really close at the logo, you can see it says Dragon Gate. So yeah, so there could be significant changes there when that gets announced. We're going to worry about that further down the line. Right. So let's book the next episode of. Actually, there is something I need to do. Let's book the next episode of Warfare. First of all, I need to put the September event in. So it's going to take place the last Saturday available. We'll stick it as a large event. Or should we make it a pay-per-view? Should we go for another pay-per-view? I'm just thinking because, you know what, I'm going to risk a pay-per-view. It's great. Let's risk a pay-per-view. So, Battle of Los Angeles is the next event. Now, for those of you unaware, Battle of Los Angeles is a tournament. So, 20th September, that is a Saturday, isn't it? Saturday, 20th September, that's fine. Yeah, Battle of Los Angeles is a tournament. Now, well, yeah, thank you. Now, I'll come back to that in a second because I do need to hire 2 wrestlers to take to join in this tournament. So I don't know who they're going to be. So Octagon is going to be one of them. So we'll give him a 1-year deal. There we go. So that's Octagon. And the next member of the tournament, and the next person that's going to be in the tournament, is, believe it or not, this guy. Enzo Amore, or Real One, we're going to call him. So again, we'll give him a written contract. Only for 6 months. Come on, there we go. Okay, and one more thing I need to do. Kevin Nash. I need to give him a written contract, so I'm not paying him $64,000 every time he appears. Because his commentary gig at City of Devils wasn't a one-off. I do apologise, I'm not saying too much at this point. I am conscious. I don't like these videos that span over the end of the month because the first of the month it's always a bit of a pain to actually. You always have to do extra bits, so. Stick it go back on commentary. So yeah, these videos that span over the month are not always. I feel like they're not always the best. So thank you for sticking with me if you are indeed doing so. 71 people in the contract. That is hard to believe. I mean, quite a few contracts are coming to an end, so. And obviously the Glory Days guys are leaving. Or are they? We'll deal with that in a second. Right, so yeah, just going back to what I was saying earlier about the Battle of Los Angeles. So in real life, the Battle of Los Angeles is a tournament. Now, I don't know if it's a one-night tournament. But basically what's going to happen is, this is how I'm going to run it. So it's going to be 16 wrestlers It's going to be one-on-one elimination knockout, so not a round robin like the G1 or the 5-star Grand Prix in Stardom, like I mentioned earlier. So if you lose your match, you're out. If you win your match, you go on. And then at the actual event at the end of the month, the Battle of Los Angeles event that I just set up, that I've set up as a pay-per-view, I'm going to have the semi-finals and the final on one night. So the rest of the tournament is going to take place over the next 4 episodes of Warfare. I'm going to introduce time limits. So it's going to be the first round. Each match is going to have a 15-minute time limit. The second round is going to be a 20-minute time limit. And then the semi-finals is going to be a 30-minute time limit, and the final is going to be a 60-minute time limit. And that's it, really. So yeah, that's so the next few episodes of Warfare is just basically going to be centered around this tournament. I mean, there will be other bits and bobs going on, but again, we'll not worry too much about that for now. Right, I think that's everything. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to. Right, so let's get on with it. Let's move on. So we'll get a few emails about soon AAA will hire new staff to replace Tom Pritchard. Public image up to 91, so we will turn national during this month. I think there's a good chance. Although Impact won't, because they've fallen to cult, and they might go back up to national. Right, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. AAA Sunday, which is now in a different time. To replace Tom Pritchard with Paul Orndorff. Well, that's wonderful news. Impact have fallen to cult level, so that means they may release people. They're a little bit smaller than they were. Yeah, Matt Stryker. Dutch Mantel. Lyle Kane. Sidney Eck. Don't know who some of these are. Falabar. The Great Gamma. Okay, I'm not sure the Great Gamma is, to be honest with you. Let's just have a quick look. Ah, right, okay. You were assuming that they hired... I think they hired him not that long ago, actually. And it was a previous... in the previous video. Right, Falabar. Not as over... Only 22 over. We could do something about that. Right. Tag team with Congo. Not Congo Kong. Just Congo. Fair enough. Okay. Of course, our Warfare episodes, if you're new... If this is your first video, then welcome. Our Warfare episodes take place on Thursdays. Right, Bobby Fish has gone to AIW. Oh, interesting. So let's check those again. So NJPW, they've signed Tony Nese to a written contract. Shane Strickland, so I suppose Swerve, I suppose, is in real life, but yeah, Shane on here. And Cameron Grimes. So he ain't coming back to PWG. Bobby Fish to AIW, that's fine. I think he was on my shortlist. No, it wasn't. It was on the shortlist on Shane Strickland. So now they will surely be replaced. Okay, Just Incredible has gone to Chikara. Is that his first hiring? I feel like someone else has hired him recently. Yeah, I feel like in the last video, WWN hired him. I said this before though, I've noticed on this game. When one person gets hired on an open contract, they then seem to get hired by 2 other companies very quickly after. I mean, if you look at his stats, and I definitely said this in the last video, if you look at his stats are pretty good. So you can see why people have hired him. So Just Incredible is now in Chikara. Marco Stunt's gone to AEW. Okay, not AEW, AAW. Shingo Takagi's left Chikara. That's probably why they've hired Just Incredible. Tracy Williams, not sure who that is. So Shingo Takagi's basically replaced Shane Strickland. Right, so after 35 minutes, almost, we're here at the episode of Warfare. So of course we're going to kick things off with the start of the tournament. However, I'm not going to book this in, just looking at what I've got to book in this show. I'm going to book like I did in the big event when I booked City of Downs. I'm going to book the first segment last. So we'll come back to that one. So So we'll kick things off with a match, the first match of the tournament. So again, at this point, the graphics would be on the screen. We'd have some question marks because we've got some mystery people coming in. Obviously, one of them is going to be Octagon. Another one's going to be, real one. So yeah, but they, obviously the fans wouldn't know that. So they flash up as question marks. We'd put the graphics on the screen about the time limits that I mentioned. And we'll kick things off with Orange Cassidy. This is the first round match. It's Orange Cassidy versus Dominik Dijakovic. I'll not talk you through the whole bracket, so I'll keep it a surprise. But I have got it all planned out. I know who's going to win the tournament and who's going to win each match and how they're going to win, etc. Have planned it all out. So, Dominik Dijakovic is going to go through. So hopefully after his turn on his team against the Troop, I need to break those up actually. I'll do that after we finish recording. Yeah, so hopefully after that turn he will get some nuclear heat. And he's going to win by Kevin Nash running in. So hopefully people thought the Kevin Nash deal was a one-off. Well, it wasn't. Kevin Nash continues to beat him up. And that's to build to a future match, both for Orange Cassidy and for Dominik Dijakovic. So Dijakovic is now in the next round of the Battle of Los Angeles. Right, now this segment's going to be a little bit weird. It's not going to be a video package. I don't know what happened there. There we go. So Authority's going to book. I'm gonna guise it as Authority books one-on-one next week, but it's not quite going to be that. So it's Excalibur, and he's going to book Mick Foley against Congo Kong. So what would happen in this segment, and this is why I've not booked the first segment yet, but what would happen in this segment is, because I'm not quite sure how the first segment is going to work yet, I'll come back to it. So what would happen in this segment is, Excalibur get up for the announcers and say, look, I'm a fair guy, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to give every member of the Glory Days a chance to keep their job, apart from Backlund. So Backlund's gone, but he's going to say over the next 4 weeks between now and the Battle of Los Angeles pay-per-view, each member of the Glory Days is going to be put into a match. If they win their match, they can keep their job. If they lose their match, they're gone. And the first match is going to take place tonight. It's going to be Papa Shango and Kevin Sullivan teaming up against Crime Time. So he announces that match, and then he says, but as for you, Mick Foley, because after you attacked me and got in my face over and over again, and I'm going to give you the toughest match I can. I'm not going to give anyone that's in the Battle of Los Angeles. They need to focus on the tournament. But I know, but there's a guy that isn't in there, and he just happens to be the world champion. So I'm going to put you against Congo Kong because he's the world champion. So basically, he's giving him the hardest match you can possibly give him for Foley to keep his job. So that's what would happen in this. I mean, hopefully he'd be a bit more charismatic than I've just been, but that's what would happen in this segment. So he'll announce Congo Kong and Foley facing next week, and then obviously, like he said, the rest of the Glory Days, we'll have matches where they can defend, where they can fight for their job. So that's that segment. Got there in the end. And the microphone nearly fell over like it did in the last video, but not quite yet. I don't think I can get through this video without that happening. Okay, another Battle of Los Angeles tournament match. There's going to be 4 on this show and then 4 on the next show. We just get the first round out the way. So it's Bandido, fresh off his Troop Triumph. And he's going to be the one that takes on a debuting Octagon. So he would be the one getting the graphics where, it'd be question marks. So we're going to bring in a Lucha Libre legend. So I think that would be a good match for Bandido. I think if this were really, he'd appreciate that. Could be wrong though. And of course, Bandido wins. But hopefully a match would be good enough that the fans would appreciate Octagon's effort. They wouldn't know that Octagon had been signed permanently at this point. I think he was just showing up for the tournament. And afterwards, they're going to shake hands. Because they're both baby faces. it's not. Well, the purpose isn't to debut Octagon. We'll say it is though, because I want Octagon to get over in defeat. Would be the plan here. Right. So a slightly weird segment here. I'll have to book it as two partners hanging out, even though they're not really partners. So it's going to be Gianna Perazzo and Mickie James. So what would happen here is Mickie would be just backstage, I don't know, doing squats or whatever, shining a title, I don't know. Gianna would walk up to her and say, look, I know I'm not your biggest fan, but I don't want any trouble. Just let you know, I do want my title shot, but I'm trying to come up against the stunning Sukuban, and already I'm finding out that that the numbers game's difficult. So if you're willing to help me out, that'd be great, basically. So she's trying to build bridges, basically, and admit that she's overmatched by the stunning Sukuban. That's kind of the point of this segment. So obviously Deanna turned down Mia Yim's offer for help, but now she's reaching out to Mickie James for help because Mia Yim's written herself off TV for a little bit, which happened a few weeks ago. So that's what's going to happen in that segment. And then, right, so this is going to be quite an important segment. So we're going to have an ambush angle, and it's going to be distraction and henchman attack. So what's going to happen here? Well, let's just put the people in, and then I'll explain how this would work. This would have to be shot and done quite specifically. So Asuka, so it's going to be Kairi and a returning Io Shirai beating up Paige, and Asuka being the distractions. What would happen here is, and the reason why I'd booked the last segment is to justify why they don't help Paige in this segment. So this is kind of be all, if I could book it this way, this is kind of be all one long segment, kind of flowing into one. So Asuka would be in the corridor, putting her face paint on in a mirror or something. Paige would walk up. Paige would see her, walk up to her and say, "Look, I don't want any trouble. Look, please just hear me out. I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you. Look, I don't know what Katrina's got over you, but this isn't the real you. I know the real Asuka, and the real Asuka isn't this, maniac who responds when somebody clicks a thing, Anyway, as she's talking, Kairi's saying attacks her from behind, and as Paige then gets the better of Asuka. Paige gets the better of Kairi. As Asuka just stands there, she doesn't get involved. So Paige is starting to get on top of Kairi, but then Io runs in, and obviously the commentators will then big that up because Io's been off TV for an entire month. So again, the commentators were bigging this up as, oh, Io's back from Japan. So then as Io and so obviously Paige then falls victim to the numbers game. Then out of the shadows, out of the darkness sort of thing, excuse me, Katrina would walk out of a shadow and then put her arm around Asuka and say, smile and nod her head or something, and then she'd click her fingers in Asuka's ear, and Asuka would then start attacking Paige as well. So eventually it becomes a 3-on-1 beatdown, and then, obviously I can't book this, but hopefully Mickie and Deanna would run down they'd hear the commotion, they'd run down the corridor, and as they're running towards the commotion, stunning Sukuban run off, basically. So that's what happened in this segment. So basically we're trying to beat Paige up quite severely, and show that Asuka's still under Katrina's spell, essentially, and obviously bring Io back to TV because she's been off for Io didn't appear on TV the entirety of August. We pretended she was touring in Japan, even though in reality she wasn't. But anyway, whatever. Next segment is going to be another angle, and it's going to be another hype video for Barbie Hayden, trying to get her over. Right, I don't know if I can do this segment. Let's just see. Did I need to hire? I may not have needed to hire a real one, but I feel like I did. Let's So a new signing, yep. So Super Dragon, so I'm going to have to do it in this guise, but he wouldn't actually say who it was. So Super Dragon announces, so what would happen in this segment, again if this were real, so Super Dragon would come out and say, hey, I know you're expecting a first round, Battle of Los Angeles first round match here, but it isn't going to take place because one of the people I've hired to be in the tournament, they said they'll only be in the tournament if they can join at the next round, so they want to buy to the first round. And because they're such a big star, and because you'll all love them when they do turn up, I've granted that wish. So you're not going to get a match. You're going to get, because we've given them a buy basically, and he won't say who it is. But obviously I can't book this segment without booking who it is. But in reality he wouldn't say it was Enzo Amore essentially. So he's trying to build up this guy as a big star, but also that he's a bit of a cretin by essentially refusing to wrestle. But because Super Dragon is a heel authority, he acquiesces to it. Basically says, well, yeah, you know, we're desperate. We're desperate for you to be on the show, so we're desperate for you to sign for the company and be in this tournament. So yeah, we'll give you a bye to the next round. That's what would happen here. So hopefully the fans wouldn't like that. That's kind of the point. Right. We've then got the match to try and save jobs for some of the members of the Glory Days. So Papa Shango and Kevin Sullivan taking on Crime Time. So of course initially when the Glory Days angle first started, Crime Time were quite heavily involved in it. They were getting done over a little bit. So this is their chance to get rid of them. So we'll have Shad pinning Kevin Sullivan. And they win cleanly. We can get a Nana Nana Hey Hey Goodbye song going. No aftermath and no real purpose. So Papa Shango and Kevin Sullivan are now gone. You won't see them on Warfare anymore. Right, interview with the Mighty. I always like to feature the champions when they've all retained their belts at the big event. So all they'll say here is how great they are. The commentator will ask, the announcer will ask, interviewer, but even will ask them, oh, you know, you've just seen Crime Time win. Are you worried about, you know, you beat Go Time? Are you worried about your next challenge? And they just say no because we're the best. And they just might, you know, hold their belts up to the camera, whatever, basic stuff, right? And then the main event, the last first round match that's going to be featured tonight. And it's going to be Keith Lee versus fellow troop member Drew Gulak. So, friends going at it, another face versus face match. Keith Lee wins. He wins cleanly. But then Drew Gulak refuses a handshake. So we're just playing. He's not going to turn. He's not a heel turn. Well, I do, Drew. So, unlucky buddy. He won't. His morale might drop after that, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I get what he's saying. He's supposed to be a babyface, but he's just going to be disappointed about. He's just going to be disappointed about losing, basically. We'll see. Put on a good match. I'm sure these two people could. Yeah, sorry, Drew. There is a point to it. So he just planted a little bit of a seed, but he just needs to come across as sort of he's disappointed that he's lost. Right, just the opening segment now. I need to put in place. So it's going to be a stable angle. Basically, I need the. I don't want to keep saying basically, but the Glory Days are going to implode here. Can they kick somebody out? No, I was hoping to do a kick out. You know, basically, I don't know why I keep saying basically, but essentially what would happen here is the Glory Days blame Mick Foley for losing. That's the point. So the Glory Days turn on Foley, but I can't. let me try this instead. Let's try an interview. Yeah, I just need them to turn on Foley, basically. That's kind of what's going to happen here. I may not be able to do this. Can I pick Foley? Or is he going to say he's in the group? Yeah, I can't pick him because he's in the group. Right, okay. We'll do it this way then. So we'll do Bob Backlund. He's gonna blame. We'll do it this way. So he blames Mick Foley. I mean, it to be an in-ring segment where what would actually happen here is, I'll have to do it like that. But what would actually happen here is there'd be an in-ring segment where the Glory Days would come out. Backlund would like rant and rave about how unfair it is, blah 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 blah, and then he blamed Foley and turned and said, well, you know, you were supposed to be the big star. You know, we brought you in because you were supposed to be you were the missing piece. You were this, but you know, you're the former world champion. You know, you should have made sure we didn't lose. And then the rest of the Glory Days then turn on him and beat him up to try and get a little bit of sympathy for Mick Foley. Hopefully, a bit of babyface sympathy. But we'll have to do it that way. We'll just do it in an interview. We criticise him. Right. Okay. Let's go then. Yeah, so not quite what I had in mind, but hey ho. I was hoping that was going to be better, I have to say. Especially after Cassidy's match with Josh Barnett, it was pretty good. That's annoying. Is this one of those shows where every segment's bad? Or not quite as good as I'd hoped. That was a good match though. Not bad for 58-year-old Octagon. Yep, that's fine. We explained that one. Good. That's good. Fine. Good, kind of. Not really bothered. Yeah, that's fine. That was about as good as it was ever going to be. Good. Yeah, I was worried about that because of the old handshake, but hey ho, well that's not the end of the world. Okay, not the best show. I was hoping that was going to be a little bit better. Right, so that's the 2 shows done. We're heading towards the hour. We're past 50 minutes, which I didn't really want to do, but hey ho. Just quickly check Drew Gulak before I say sayonara. Yeah, morale's 73. He's still 63, obviously. It's not the end of the world. His morale's still decent. Okay, so that is the end of this video. Apologies for its length, but I always knew it was going to be long. So we've booked City of Devils now, so the Glory Days are no more, so I will break them up on this screen. I've got a lot to sort out, which I will do before I record the next video. The Battle of Los Angeles is underway, and we're now into September. I can't believe this, nearly 9 months I've been recording this. It's hard to believe. Anyway, that is the end of episode 23, so if you enjoyed this episode, then please like and share the video. You can also leave a comment on the video should you choose to do that. While you're here on YouTube, if you head on over to the channel, The Commentator, you'll find the rest of the videos in this playlist. If you want to know any of the other previous, if you've not watched any of the previous videos, and you want to know how I've got to this point and previous storylines, etc., then please go and check those out. I promise you, not all the videos are as long as this one. In fact, most of them are shorter, thankfully. But if your wrestling is not your thing, then I don't know why you're watching this video. But if it isn't, I've got plenty of other stuff on the channel from various consoles, Sega, Mega Drive, and N64, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1 and 2. Lots of good stuff to be found on there. But next time, we're moving on to the next couple of episodes of Warfare, continuing with the Battle of Los Angeles tournament, and 1 or 2 other storylines that we've got going on. Between that point, for now, from me, it is sayonara.